welcome to today's class, which is the hot dog class. It's a very small class today. I've got three lovely ladies who have joined the class, but obviously I'm hoping I'll have a few more viewers, which is always a bonus. So thank you and welcome to Kathy and Pat and Pauline. And I'm looking forward to sharing my cards with you. I filmed this on Thursday afternoon after a very terrible night's sleep. So that's my excuse for any errors or little faux pas, but I often don't need an excuse for those. So let's go through your kit. So you will have the stamp set in your kit. And the Smoky Slate blends, if you didn't already have them. And then a little biscuit to keep you going, and a coffee. And a quarter of a pack of the papers. I've just grabbed my stash and some of these are cut into. And then your card kits in these little packs. So it's really, really easy to see what we're doing. And your envelopes. So, shall we start? So, this is card 1. Okay, I'm just checking I can see it on the screen. This is card 1 that we're going to do, and I've forgotten to grab you do need a Memento black ink, which you can use for the sentiment, but I'm going to grab a grey one for mine. It's also really helpful with this stamp set if you have a foam mat to stamp on. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use the basic grey ink pad, but black would work fine. So let's open up. Oh, it's funny, I feel like I'm taking part in my own class. I'm using these paper bags now because they're just a little bit more environmentally friendly rather than the cello bags. And I've been really good and cut things down for you today. So we're going to start with a Smoky Slate card base. As you can see, we've got some Pool Party here. And then you've got a Whisper White piece here to go on there. Now, I thought to myself earlier, do I need my ruler? No, you don't need your ruler, Julie, but I do. So I've now got my ruler. Honestly, I use my ruler every single day. And it's a Pool Party ruler, which is one of my favourite Stampin' Up colours. So, what we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of paper 8.5 centimetres by 3 centimetres. Now, I've pre-recorded this and I'm watching along with you, so I can comment in the chat. I'll just grab my trimmer, which I forgot to. The problem I've got, you see, is I'm now in this bigger office, which isn't a problem. But before, I filmed where all my stuff was, all my craft stuff. And now, because I've got more room, I've got a desk just dedicated to filming. And I don't really have any craft stuff on this desk because I want to keep it clear. And I take my photos on here and things like that. So I keep having to go back to my craft desk. So I want the stripes to go down. So we're going to cut this at... You might want to cut it at 3 first. Oh no, I'm going to cut it at 8.5. And then by 3. But if you don't want to waste, you might want to do it the other way. And this is just for the top piece. And it's just a nice little layout. So if you're crafting along with another stamp set, you could do the same design with another bit of paper. So if you want to craft along with us, the piece of white is 8.5 by, I'm guessing 12.8, but I'll just check. And I guess correctly, it's 8.5 by 12.8. And then the blue piece behind is 9 by 13.3. And that's going to sit there like that. Okay. So I'm going to glue this on so I know where where I need to stamp my sentiment and everything. You'll have plenty of paper left over to... Oh man, I nearly dropped that on the blue piece then. I nearly stuck it on the blue piece. I nearly dropped it on the blue piece. Put it down to the lack of sleep last night. Okay. Now, so that's just going to go up there like that. And we're going to do a bit of stamping. Okay, so there's 3 different dogs in this set, and I'm going to do the one that's sat. Grab a block, pop it on my block. Okay, now I will just be honest with you. When I made this card on the Paper Crafts and Piano evening, I had a mucky mark there. So I did the paw prints afterwards just to try and distract from it. You don't have to do the paw prints if you don't want to. So I'm going to ink up the doggy. And if this is the first time stamping with this stamp set, I would ink it up and then just stamp it a couple of times on some scrap paper. And I'm going to stamp it on the bottom left, but I'm going to allow a little bit of room because I've got my balloon. So I'm coming in just under 1 centimetre from the left with his tail. There we go. Okay. And then what we can do is grab the balloon stamp. That's if you want to. You might not want to have the balloon stamp. And I'm going to grab this tiny, I'll show you on here, that tiny little bow. There's lots of little cute extras on here. It's the smallest stamp in the world. You will need to be careful with it. So I'm going to ink up the balloon, and I'm going to just not quite be touching the tail because I'm going to stamp that bow. But I'm going to stamp it down like that. Just be careful you don't rock and roll and get ink everywhere. And then I'm going to ink up, this is with the memento still, that little bow. And that's going to sit there like that. So I hope you can see that. All right, and while I'm just allowing that memento to dry, because I do like to allow a little bit of time, you will have got a scrap piece of Pacific Point in here. It's a lot bigger than what you need, and so we don't have to colour that balloon in because we don't do inks in Pacific Point. We don't do blends. I'm going to stamp the balloon. I only need to stamp the top half of it. And I'm going to stamp it like that onto the piece of scrap. Now, I need to say that if this is the first time you've done a video with me on YouTube, I try not to go as fast as I would normally when I'm crafting, but I appreciate that I'm going probably faster than you will craft. So you can pause it. If you touch the bottom of the video, bottom of the image, you can pause it, and you can then drag the cursor back to rewind as well. You can do it in your own time. And then I'm going to cut this blue balloon out, but I'm leaving a very little, I'm not cutting it quite on the line. I'm just going around the outside of it. Like that. And then you see that's going to stick over there. It's going to glue over there, like that, you see. That's a magic. So I'll do that in a moment. And I'm going to grab the sentiment, hot dog, it's your birthday, which is rather funny. Hot dog. And I'm using my basic grey ink. Have a little practice. I always have, oh, you see, have a little practice, Jules. That's better. It's probably because I didn't have it on the map. And I'm going to, you probably might get my hair on. I have to say, roll on next Wednesday when I'm getting my hair coloured and cut. Okay, so I've stamped my sentiment and now it's time to do a little bit of colouring. And so with the Smoky Slate, you have two pens. You have a dark and a light, which you should be able to tell from the lids. One's slightly darker, but if you can't, excuse me, I'm yawning. It does say on the side there, dark Smoky Slate. And I'm not going to be too, I don't know what the word is, particular about this. I'm just going to go with the dark and I'm going to sort of start at the top, go over the top of his head and just do a little bit and sort of the left of his ear. And then I'm going to go around his body, the top of the outside of his body. But I don't want to do it on a line. And again, same with the feet. I'm going to go under the ear because if you think about it, there'll be a shadow there. And then I'm just going to come around the outside again. But I've not really tried to do a definite line. It's all wonky. Okay. That was with the bullet end. It's quite a small image, so I don't think we need the brush end. And again, I'm going to use the bullet end for this. And what I'm going to do is I go over the grey, over the darker grey, I mean, and then I pull the ink in. Now, you will find you might want to keep sort of going over it with the light coloured one. And what you get is a darker edge and then lighter in the middle. And every time you do this, it'll be different because that's crafting. And we're human, yeah? And it will take a bit to dry. Now, if you do get this on the back, that's totally normal. Absolutely normal. Should we glue that balloon on? Now, you can either put the glue on there and take it down, but because it's quite a small piece, you can even put the glue sort of directly on the balloon and take that balloon there to the blue balloon to the white one. Okay, now there's a collar there and it's up to you. If you have a blue blend, then you can colour that in with another colour if you have a blue one. I've got that dark balmy blue and I'm going to use that. What you could do is you could stamp a little bow tie in Memento and then colour that in blue as well. If you're very, very good at cutting out, you could stamp the bow tie on the dark blue card, you know, that we did, and cut that out if you don't have another coloured pen. But what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to stamp this little bow tie here, like that. And I'm going to allow some time for it to dry. Now what we can do is glue that to our blue, glue and the blue. And then glue that carefully. I'm not doing the paw prints on mine. You can by all means. I did it last time because, as I say, because I had a dirty mark. So I've just not included the paw prints there. And I'm just going to grab my blue and colour that in. If you want to, you can take your pale colour one again and go back and round the ears to do some shadow. It's up to you. I'm going to leave that for now. So that's card one done. Card one's done, there we go. Two versions of it. One with lucky paw prints and one without. I'm just going to have a drink actually, and let you catch up on your card. And see what time it is. When we did that card, that's a 15-minute one. When all your card bits are cut out for you, it's really easy to do the cards because I've done a lot of the prep for you. So what I'm going to do while you catch up is I'm going to swap over my stamps and put away the ones that I don't need for now. Need the balloon still. I'm changing the doggy. Okay, so we need, I'm going to use the dog that's sort of walking and it's smiling, this dog. It's a happy little dog. Okay, so for this next card, which is this one, and I've got mucky marks on again. You need the stamp with the doggy sort of walking and facing towards the left. Then we're still doing the hot dog, it's your birthday. And we're using the one balloon. And we don't need a bow on this one. So I thought by doing that I might maybe be able to get you to catch up with me. I'm just going to grab some paper that I need for this one. Okay. I think it's going to be a really quick class, this one, by the looks of it, because that first, I'm only 20 minutes in and I've done one card. So, and I do know card 3 is a little bit harder. Okay, so I'm going to open up card number 2, and please don't panic if you're not at the same point as me. If you want to watch and come and do it in your own time, then that's fine. This card has got a little bit more included to go through. So we have a white card base this time, and another Pacific Point layer. And then you've got a piece of white. Now this is for stamping the dog on. And you've probably got enough enough to do 2. You've got another piece of scrap blue for the balloon, but to be honest, I still have that left from the other one. So you should have some there. You've got this punched out shape for the sentiment. And then you've got a piece of my favourite denim ribbon, which is my fave. Have I mentioned it's my fave? And it's going. Right, and then for this card, I'm going to use this lovely checked pattern. I love these papers because I know there's about 4 of them that I know people who have shirts in these designs. So Craig has a shirt like this for work. Andy has one like that. Andy has one like that, a short sleeve one, and my Ross has a paisley shirt that I bought him like that. So it's quite funny. Okay, so I need to measure this, but I think it's 9 centimetres, yeah. So that's 9 by 13.3. Okay, so we're going to do, for this one, so let me just work this out. Yeah, so this needs to be this stripy one, 9 across. Yeah, and I'm going to do it at 2.5, and I'm going to do it this side because it's easy to see. Okay, this is about 1 inch. That's just for the top bit there, yeah. And then the other bit, which I've now lost because I was showing you my shirts. Oh, is it under my trimmer? Yeah. Is going to be 9. I'm going to cut at 9. And I'm going to cut this at 11. Okay. And I will type those measurements in the chat. Now, let's do this before we have do any stamping. I have allowed a little bit of room for an overlap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one down first. This was the 9 by 11. And then that's going to pop over there and it's going to glue like that. And you should get a border. So don't try to match them up like that. You know, like touching, because it might be out by 1 millimetre. Just have it overlapping slightly and just check that you've got the right size of blue behind. Just check that your border's is right all the way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down now, and I'm going to do mine slightly different to the card I did for the to advertise the class. I've made it a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm doing that, and then I'm going to glue this down. And again, just check your border. Just check that it's a-okay. Okay. Now, it would be best to put this down with a little bit of tape, okay? Which, guess what, I didn't bring. But I've got it now. So, whenever I use ribbon, I'm using a bit of tape to hold it down, okay? So, I'm going to turn this over. So I'm going to pop it there like that. And it's really good because with this being a grid sort of design, you can make sure it's straight with the grid. So I'm going to turn that over. It's not actually glued down on the front, it's just glued down there at the back. And then I'm going to line it up with that grid bit. You know, just make sure that that's okay. And then feed that over there. And that's going to go like that. Now, you don't even need to take those off at the back if you don't want to, because we can glue over the ribbon. But yeah, so that's going to go, that will go on there like that, you see. So, let's do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to grab my grey shape that I've punched out for you. Now this punch is retiring. It's called Tailored Tag. It's perfect for this set, perfect for this sentiment to fit in. And I'm going to stamp this in the middle here. It fits absolutely superbly in here. That's all right, actually. That's not bad. Maybe I might try the other side. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. So we'll go with that one. I use the emergency side. I don't think this class is going to last us 2 and a bit hours, do you? Okay, so that's going to go on there like that, you see. And what's really cool is these side bits, the depth of them is sort of the depth of the ribbon, which I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that to one side just for now and do a little bit of stamping. And I'm going to take my Memento ink and the smiling walking dog and stamp that there. Now there is enough room for 2. Hey, you might even get 3 on. Do you know what? How would that be for value? Look at that. Well, you don't need 3, so don't do 3. I think I just wanted to prove a point. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp the balloon on my scrap there. Yeah? And I'm just going to allow those to dry. And in the meantime, we can do this if we want to. So I'm going to use some foam pads for this and layer it up with some foam pads. Like that. And pop that there like that. And then I can stick that on here. Oh hi, I'm just doing a little video. Oh, it's all right. This is my friend and neighbour Troy. Well, it's called Roy, but I call him Troy. It's not live. I'm filming it for Saturday.
All right.
So yeah, I upload it. So yeah, it's Roy's come to see me. Hello. I'm doing little doggy cards. Oh, look, little doggy cards.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Roy's got a lovely dog called Ruby, but she's not a dog like this dog. But yeah, so yeah. But thanks for popping in, Troy. Star of the video. Oh, bless him. Yeah, that's Roy is my friend from musical theatre, and I was in Made in Dagenham with him. For those of you who came to see it, actually, all 3 of you taking part, came to see Made in Dagenham. So I don't know if you remember, but in the second half, there was a scene where it was the new Cortina Mark II, and there was a guy dressed in a velour suit, and it was called Cortina Man, and he sang this song called Cortina, advertising the new Cortina. Well, that was Roy, or Troy as we called him. So yeah, he was in this office before, and he's just moved to another office. So that was lovely to see him. He burst in going, I thought you'd left that day. Could have been worse. He could have said other things, I suppose. So I'm going to do a little bit of colouring now, and similar to the other one, I might actually use brush end, because this dog's a little bit bigger, I think. I'm just going to do, I just sometimes can't control this one without it going over the, you know, over the lines. That's the word I'm looking for, Julie, lines or edges. How funny, I think you were a bit embarrassed that it barged in on my vid. Okay, so I've just gone around the edge there. Might have a go with brush on this one, see what that's like as well. Because it's a little bit of a bigger space. So I'm using a light one now to go over it. Oh, my Fitbit's just buzzed to say that I need to get moving this hour, but that ain't going to be happening, is it? Okay. Just going to do a bit of shadow there on the ears and under the ears. So there, just to show you how I've coloured in. And I'm going to cut that out now, cut the dog out actually, and it's going to be stuck straight onto the card then. How are we doing? Are we okay? What time are we on? Oof. We've done about 35 minutes. Okie doke, so when I cut this out, I'm going to leave a little bit of white space around the edge. I've gone very quiet because I'm concentrating. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of white around the edge. I know Pauline hates a cutting out, so sorry Pauline. I've made you cut some stuff out over the years, Pauline. So look, I'm really happy with that little doggy there. And he's so happy, that dog. He looks like he's trotting along thinking, hey, I'm the best dog in the world. And of course, his owner will think he is the best dog in the world. Okay, so I'm gonna stick it in a little bit. Again, about a centimetre in from the right. You can use the grids as a guide. And then hold that down. Okay. Like that. And then what we need to do is we are actually going to stamp again the balloon on here. And as you can see from this, I've stamped it so it looks like it's tied round his tail. So grab the balloon stamp. I'm still probably zoomed in, aren't I? I think that's about where I was before. And again, you can use your grids to see if you've got the balloon string straight. Mind you, they fly everywhere, don't they? So, and we stamped this little balloon, didn't we? So again, we can cut that out. Okay, and like I did before, I'm going to take a little bit of glue and pop it there in the middle of that. And glue that on, and ta-da! Really pleased with that one. Really pleased with that. And we've only done 40 minutes. Yeah, and I've got no dirty smudges on that card either. Right. So I can actually tidy up my stamps and see what I need next. While you catch up, I will tidy up my stamps. You can put the balloon away. And we're going to swap back to the sitting doggy. So we're not using that one for now, for today, but I'm sure you can. And we are going to use the little party hat. Yeah, the little party hat. And we're still using the hot dog, it's your birthday. So there's lots of other things you can do with this set. I'm sure you can stretch you can do stamp one doggy at one side, stamp a dog and then put something over the middle to look like it's stretched like a big long sausage dog. And while you're catching up, one thing I wanted to show you, which I did, I think at the end of Coffee and Card, was I stamped the doggies onto some patterned paper and cut them out. How cute do they look on that? So that's just a little idea for you too. So let me show you on here. Oh no, it's the wrong, I'm trying to stick it over the sat down dog, and of course it's not the same dog. Never mind. So this is the third and final card for today. It's a little bit more intricate, I suppose. But I've done the punching out for you because I knew you wouldn't have the tag shape. So I've punched those shapes out. So you've got bonus bonus papers, but I haven't punched them out for me, so you can catch up while I do that. So in your pack, you will have, oh, I've got two of them. I don't know why I've got two. Some of the twine. You've got a circle. You've got a piece of card for stamping on. And then you've got 2 layers to go on the card like that. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to put those to one side for now. What I might do to start with is stamp my dog, and that can be drying. Like that, and I'll just put that to one side. Okay. So I've put that to one side. And I'm going to now punch some shapes out. You don't need to do this, as I say. Oh, why didn't I bring the punch over? So I'll just go grab the punch. And I'll punch some of these out. Well, you might have caught up. And that's amazing if you have. This is a really good one for scraps, using scraps up. Just trying to find some more scraps, Jules. So I've got 3 there. I think you need about 5 for this, but I'm not sure. So I'm just, oh, I found a spare there, so that's good. Let's see if I've got enough with those. And I should have done you a grey one. And why haven't I done myself? Why haven't I done myself a grey one? Smoky Slate. Okay, so first things first, we need to stamp the hot dog, it's your birthday, on here. But as you can see from this, we need to stamp it as far as we can over to the left to fit it in. Or you could change your design of your card and have it in a different way, but if you stamp it as far over to the left as you can, without losing any of the words, like that, okay? Now, we're going to work with this top piece of white, and we're going to start to pop our sentiments on. Why does mine look different? I think I've used grey granite there, not Smoky Slate. So what we need to do, we probably need to do this one first and just work out where we want it, because of we don't want to lose the wording, okay? But we want it to be central also. So what I'm going to do is, that's a little bit, I might cheat it actually. I might cheat it and have it overlapping onto the blue, which make a little feature of it. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then, you see, this goes here like this. Well, this is like a patchwork, yeah? And then you take these 2 colourful ones, oops, that's moved, and line them up. It's like building a brick wall or patchwork. Okay, now I'm hoping that these two bits that we cut off here, yeah, that one will go there and that bit left over should go there. That's hoping, okay? So if you want to start assembling like that, and then take one off at a time, and then you can glue them. Now, actually though, I think I need to go a bit higher up with it. Yeah, that's a bit better. Oh, I'm now getting a phone call. Okay, I got a phone call then, which threw my video off. So apologies for that. Okay, I'm going to glue this one down. But be aware that you're not gluing the whole of it down because there's a bit left. So don't put your glue all the way to the edge. Same at this side. Just put your glue about 2/3 of the way over. And then just remove them one at a time. I'm going to stick this down, but I'm not going to trim it just yet. And I'll tell you why soon. Because if I trim it now, I'm going to end up cutting the words off. Okay. But I am going to trim these little bits here. So don't trim that one, the plain grey one, but you can trim the patterned ones. Okie doke. And then hopefully, that should fit. Oh, that's got a bit of glue on actually. We'll use that one. I'm hoping they fit. If not, I've done you a spare. Yeah, they're just a bit small. So I've done you a spare, I think. So you might have to use the ends of your spares. I certainly did you more than 4, I'm sure. I think I did you about 6. So let me just, what I'm going to do is grab a bit there, like that off that one. So that didn't quite pan out, did it? Never mind. As I say, I'm sure I've done you some spares. So I can do that. And I can do that. And again, we can trim those down. Yeah? Put too much glue on there. There's a bit of glue poking out. Don't cut the grey one. Although it's very close to this one. Be careful. Right, that was a little bit of a job, wasn't it? So we can now stick this to our blue background. Like that. And you will see why I left this out, because now if we cut it off in line with the blue, we should just be able to fit the words on like that. And it sort of makes a feature of it, yeah? Like so. Now, before we do our stamping of our doggy, we can tie the twine round. Now what I've done is 2 pieces of twine, and I'm going to piece them together and tie them round together. So I'm turning this upside down, and I want the bow to be at the right hand side. And I'm tying the 2 together. So I'm literally making, there's going to be like a double loop of bow. Now I don't do the bunny ears with this because it's just twine. Don't get yourself in a knot with it, literally. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And then you see this will go over here, like so. I'll probably put it a bit further over like that. So we need to trim this down at one side. Shall I do a bit on the other? There we go. Right, so let's colour that dog in. When I can find my pen. Oh, it's there. So because that phone call interrupted the previous video, I can't see how long I've been on now because I've had to start a whole new video. But I'm guessing that we've done an hour or thereabouts, which isn't very long. But obviously a lot of the stuff was cut for you. I've not made you cut much of the stuff apart from some of the papers. So again, I'm going round the edge with the dark smoky slate, like that. And then I'm going to grab the light. I'm doing the bush end this time because I felt like I got a better result. I think that was my landlord who just phoned me because I've just had a text from him. But it's all good, it's fine. We had a rental inspection last week, and the letting agents, we've got a tree in our garden that probably needs chopping a little bit, so I think he's probably ringing about that. So I've coloured the dog in, and I'm going to stamp the party hat on a bit of the blue card, like that. You should have plenty of that blue card left over for scraps. I think I've only used 1 piece. And it's a little bit hard to cut out because it's small, but don't cut on the black line, cut around the edge. Okay, and now I'm going to cut the doggy out, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that little loop that's hanging off his collar when I cut him out. So again, I'm quiet because I'm cutting out. Okay, so let's bring our card back and grab our, I'm going to colour that collar in. And grab our circle. Now, I have to tell you, I've got a little mark on that. Little bit sad, but these stitch dies are leaving us. Now, at the time, I think they're still available, but they are retiring from the catalogue. They were a popular seller for many years, and obviously a lot of people have them now, so they've not been selling as much because people have got them in their stash already. If you haven't got these stitched shapes, contain 4 ovals, 4 circles and 4 squares, then please do place an order with me or let me know and I'll get them ordered for you. And I forgot to say, but the actual hot dog stamp set isn't carrying over. So if you love it and want to purchase it, if I've tempted you with these cards today and you don't have it already, then again, you can get in touch with me and I will sort that out for you. Or you can order on my store. So there's a little doggy. He's very, very happy because today is his birthday. And he's got a party hat. And then I'm just going to push this down with my scissors. Like that. He's got his little party hat on. So we want to pop this over our twine like that. Yeah. And you can put it in the middle of the shapes. But I want to use some foam pads either side of the twine. So I'm going to pop a couple at the top and a couple at the bottom. And then the twine can run through like the channel. Like that. And then we can just stick it onto our card. And of course, if you've got extra card in your craft stash, you could carry on crafting this afternoon and make some more stuff because you've got plenty of papers, you've got your stamps, you've got your pens. So if you do any more cards this afternoon, if you're in the zone now, please do share the pictures with me because I'd love to see them. Right, I'm just gonna... So there we've got the third card. I'm going to move this away to create a bit of a nicer background. And grab the cards. Is that one? That was my original one with the footprints. And then there we have the 3 cards from today. So I hope you've enjoyed doing those. Hope you've managed to keep up, or if you've been able to pause and rewind, it's worked okay for you. And I'm really grateful that you've joined in my class today. I've got quite a few classes in May that are on the website, on my event site, if you'd like to join in with those. And why don't you have a go at stamping some on patterned paper too? And send me a picture of those. So for now, I will bid you farewell and say thank you for sharing your Saturday afternoon with me. Take care and keep crafting. Thank you. Bye.